So Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez are going to be performing on the same show on the same night in the same ring, but for the WWE. This is the Battle Camp. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll find it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. When all this information came out a week or so ago, the first thing that dawned on me was when Cain Velasquez was the heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC, Tyson Fury was a top contender in the heavyweight division in boxing. He was continually chasing down Vladimir and Vitaly at that point, Klitschko, and he was just basically just begging for a fight against one of them, because at that time both brothers held all the major titles in the heavyweight division. The Klitschkos weren't playing ball, and I remember Tyson Fury calling out Cain Velasquez. So just now I've just done a Google search to say what, because I couldn't remember exactly what he said or what the context was or how he did it. And I found this this article on lowkick.com. And these are the words of Tyson Fury. If the Klitschkos are too much of pussies to fight me, then I'll go and fight the MMA heavyweight champ. At least he is game. Wouldn't last 2 rounds. Exclamation point. Cain Velasquez is a little midget on steroids. Bring it on. I'll fight. I love it when Tyson Fury says this. Not a man born from his mother can beat me. Contact Hennessy Sports, who was his promoter back then. I'm the new baddest man on the planet. I'll smash at Cain MMA. Let's get it on. And then he's added Dana White, Adam Harris Books, boxer, I don't know who that is, Hennessy Sports, and Mike Tyson for some reason, not sure why. But yeah, that was basically his call out. And this was back on, well, this article dates back to January 4th, 2013. And I just thought to myself, fucking hell, how have times changed? Where in them days, Tyson Fury was calling out Cain Velasquez for an MMA fight. And don't get me wrong, it's not something that anyone really took seriously at the time, because Tyson Fury has a habit of saying things on social media that he might not necessarily mean, or he's just, I wouldn't say attention seeking, but he's just basically trying to keep his name out there, if that makes sense. And now we're here. We've got Tyson Fury facing a WWE wrestler, Braun Strowman, in Saudi Arabia at the end of the month. We've got Cain Velasquez facing Brock Lesnar, but in a fucking pro wrestling match. It's crazy, isn't it? If you really think about it, from where we were 4, 5, 6 years ago to where we are now. Who would have fucking thunk it, eh? Who would have thunk it? Like, I made a video about Cain Velasquez about a month ago, talking about his interview with Ariel Helwani, and it was the first time he showed this much character, this much personality, this much passion during an interview. And it just so happens he was talking about pro wrestling. And I mentioned that I'd seen some of his matches in the Mexican wrestling promotion, and how it seems that he's really taking this seriously. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Cain Velasquez, because it feels like he's found something that he's just as passionate about. And it's something that he can dedicate himself to and get better at and be good at. And unfortunately, injuries have hampered his MMA career, so he never really reached the potential that he maybe could have if he wasn't getting injured so often. And it sounds funny saying that, because, you know, he was a dominant world champion. And when people talk about the best ever heavyweight mixed martial artist, you have to bring up Cain Velasquez's name in that discussion. But even so, it just feels like there's still something left on the table that he never really achieved, just because of all the injuries. And now he's wrestling, he's doing pro wrestling. And I listened to his most recent interview with Ariel Helwani, and he did it in kind of he did it. I like the way he did it because he went half kind of just normal, just being himself, and then whenever wrestling was brought up and him facing Brock Lesnar, he just slipped back into his wrestling character and started talking about how Brock Lesnar picked on Rey Mysterio, and he's got a price to pay for that, and Cain Velasquez is going to teach him a lesson. And I don't know, man. I just enjoyed it. I like this. I like the fact that Cain Velasquez has found this, man. It's way too often you see fighters come to the end of their career, and a lot of the time they're fighting when they shouldn't be fighting, and they're a shadow of their former selves, and then they finally hang up the gloves or whatever, and then and then that's it. They just spiral into drugs, depression, whatever, lose their money, etc. Um, and I'm hopeful that Kane won't be one of these stories because he's found this love for wrestling. Oh, well, I don't think he would have been like that anyway, judging by the way he's carried himself throughout his MMA career. But you know what I mean? It's just good to see that he's found something to do at the end of his career. Um, like I said earlier, he signed a multi-year deal apparently. Tyson Fury's one is until the end of the year, so that's what the rumors are. I don't know how true they are, but it feels like Tyson Fury is. This isn't going to be the end of it. It's not. It's not just a one and done show in Saudi Arabia, and apparently he's getting paid millions of dollars. So fair play to him. I don't know whether this is going to put the fight with Deontay Wilder in jeopardy. Who knows? Obviously he's got that cut above his eye as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how his commitments to WWE affect his boxing career, and that will inevitably have a knock-on effect to the landscape of the heavyweight division in boxing, because obviously that fight with Deontay Wilder was meant to happen in kind of, I think, the first quarter of next year, if it's not possible because of this cut or his commitments to WWE. Does that open the door for Deontay Wilder to fight Andy Ruiz if Andy Ruiz beats Joshua in the rematch? If Joshua wins, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of moving pieces. So the heavyweight division it's a bit quiet at the moment because Wilder's got a fight booked. Joshua and Ruiz are obviously fighting. So there's a bit of uncertainty around what's going to happen. But once these fights are done, obviously the picture's going to get a lot clearer. But on top of that, if you add the element of the WWE and Tyson Fury and the money he's making, how will that affect his appetite for a rematch with Deontay Wilder? More importantly, will this endeavor in WWE, will that raise his profile as a boxer? Will that translate into new American fans when he fights, or if he fights Deontay Wilder next year? I don't know. I personally, I can't see it because at the moment, the WWE is a very stale and out of touch brand, and the kind of demographic that Tyson Fury needs to kind of gain some traction with in the States. I don't feel like that is the current WWE audience. What I mean by that is back in the day when I watched WWE, when it was called WWF, we had like it was an era of NWO in the WCW, and obviously Stone Cold, The Rock, etc. The Monday Night Wars, Raw v Nitro. That was the perfect sweet spot for gaining new fans because it was young adult males, basically kind of teenage males, young males, kind of 18 to 30 whatever, and teenagers. Those are the kind of guys you want to be your fan if you're a boxer, because those are the kind of guys that are likely to buy your pay-per-view. The current audience for WWE, I'd assume, is a lot younger. That's who they're skewing their product towards, and it's a shit fucking product. I was always a massive wrestling fan, and it was my love for wrestling that drew me into boxing and MMA, to be totally honest with you. But the current product is fucking shit. It is shit, and I think it will get him some exposure, but I'm not sure whether that exposure will translate into new fans of him as a boxer. I've got my reservations about that. However, having said that, the the WWE is now on Fox in America, I believe, SmackDown. And if Tyson Fury fights Deontay Wilder, it's very likely that it will be shown on ESPN and Fox. So perhaps there's an opportunity to cross promote using the Fox platform. So who knows? But I just don't think that Tyson Fury being in the WWE will automatically mean a whole new load of fans for him in America. I just don't think WWE is a place for that to happen, unfortunately. But having said that, who gives a flying fuck? If you're Tyson Fury, you're getting paid millions of dollars to have fun. I don't think it's going to take much time out of his schedule. Then go for it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so this is a bit of a weird video because I've covered quite a few different topics, I suppose, when it comes to Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez being in this Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia at the end of the month. One thing that I don't want to see is Cain Velasquez against Tyson Fury in that environment. And the reason I say that is neither of them are seasoned professional fucking pro wrestlers. Cain Velasquez has picked up quite a lot in the short time he's been doing it. And he's got all the potential in the world to be a full-blown, a proper pro wrestler. But he's been exposed. He's not been exposed very much in the matches he's had, because he's had tag team matches and things like that. And he'll be fighting, or he'll be wrestling Brock Lesnar. And in that fight, they'll probably do more of an MMA style fight, and it won't be a technical wrestling match. And Brock Lesnar can kind of lead Cain Velasquez a little bit in that environment, I'd assume. But when you got two novices like Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez, and let me just actually say, I can't see Tyson Fury dedicating himself the way Cain Velasquez has when training for training as a pro wrestler. So when you've got two novices in the ring, it will just be a shit show. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind a little push and a pull, like fucking Carl Froch and George Groves did. We can push, we can pull about a bit. But I just don't want to see them two like booked in a match against each other, because it will just be a fucking mess. Anyway, that's my thought on Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury being on a WWE show. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to hit the like button. Share this with a friend if you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next one.